Just like to say, this is AK and the Eyes on Texas program. I like to bring you college content, high school football content as often as I can. If this does in fact interest you, please like and subscribe. Welcome. So with the commitment from Spencer Shannon and with the fact that we have Isidore Newman's Will Randall in town has got me thinking about one of my favorite positions, one of the positions I used to play when I played ball when I was in high school, and that's going to be the tight end position. And more exactly, where does Texas land in the Texas tight end position as of right now? Texas has one commitment from the tight end position in the class of 2023, and that is going to be all the way from California. Is going to be Spencer Shannon. He is going to be a three-star athlete. He is going to be 6'7", a big-bodied, more of an inline traditional style tight end. He's going to be 6'7", 240 pounds, and he is from Santa Ana, California, and he does play at the dominant school, the dominant prep school out there in California, Modern Day High School, that does churn in and churn out competitive athletes day in and day out, season in and season out. They are always producing 3, 4, and 5-star studs year in and year out. But that's going to be our one commitment. That is going to be the one commitment on the position. Spencer Shannon is going to be more of a traditional inline blocking tight end. That's probably going to be a third down inline inseam production player, meaning that he's probably just going to mainly block near the goal line, be of a goal line threat to score his touchdowns, be more of a security blanket on third down, just going to be an 8-yard turn up and hook up. He's not going to be someone who's going to be on the outside spreading the defense as more of these split out wide style of tight ends that I'll get into as well. Talking about Will Randall, who is very versatile as well. Will Randall, if you don't know, he is going to be one of the biggest outlooks for the tight end position for the Texas Longhorns in the class of 2023. If you don't know anything about Will Randall, he is currently on campus. He is on an official visit that started on June 17th on Friday. He is on campus with 8 other prospects on official visits. One, of course, is his high school teammate and number 1 overall player from him, his high school out there in Newman Smith, the Greenies. I'm talking about the number 1 quarterback in the nation, Arch Manning, is going to be his quarterback where he does play. But Will Randall, talking about the tight end, he's going to be more of a versatile tight end who can play you a little bit inline and be more of an H-back style tight end. What do I mean when I talk about H-back? H-back is someone who does, in fact, line up in the backfield, does go in motion all over the playing field, can motion in and out of the backfield, can block, he can receive and play a traditional tight end position going out in the flats and be split out wide. With that being said, Will Randall is going to be a nationally recognized 3-star athlete, number 670 by the 247 Sports Composite. And if you don't know, it's time to give them boys the flowers. 247 Sports is going to be the number 1 go-getter in the game. Mike Roach and his boy Hudson Standish over there for 247 Horn Sports, absolutely tearing it up day in and day out. Got to give them boys their flowers as I normally do. But with that being said, Will Randall, a lot of the people did think that he was only a take if we do land the coveted Arch Manning. That is not the case. Will Randall is a highly touted, productive player who is a very versatile player that I did mention can play an inline role, more of an H-back role, and can do some things in the blocking game as well for you, for short and goal line as well. Will Randall is someone who I'm definitely on commitment watch. He was just recently crystal balled by Hudson Standish of 247 Sports and has had an outstanding crystal ball in favor of the Texas Longhorns. And now the fact that he is on the visit, Texas has been an informal leader for him quite some time. I do believe that it quite possibly is time for him to pull the trigger. This other tight end, this is going to be Chico Holt. This next young gentleman that I'm going to be talking about, he is going to be 6'5", 220 pounds. More of that traditional style of a tight end, that more of an inline blocker that can go up the seams, curl up and hook up for 8 to 10 yards. More of that security blanket on third down. Could quite possibly develop into a little bit more. Hasn't shown very much varsity film, much varsity tape. I do know in the camp circuit he has impressed. I do. Michigan is come calling quite hard for for the services of young Chico Holt. Talking about his production in last year in 2021, he just did have 19 catches for just over 200 yards, 213 yards to be specific, and he did reach across that goal line 4 times. So talking about Chico Holt, he is going to be someone that I'm not quite as confident as obviously Spencer Shannon, who we already have into the fold, the 6'7", 240-pounder out of California, and the one from Isidore Newman. Talking about Will Randall. Will Randall, very confident. Spencer Shannon already in the boat. And talking about being already in the boat, I'm going to be talking about this young gentleman interest if we do get Arch Manning into the fold. I do believe the chances of landing this individual most definitely increase, because I don't know if we're much on his radar right now. I don't know if we can quite pull in an official visit from this 5-star recruit. Talking about Deuce Robertson, nationally rated as the #1 tight end prospect in all the nation, 6'6", 225 pounds, but man, he is just really used more of a bigger wide receiver. I did listen to the ticket on Dallas DFW Metroplex leading radio sports network, and they were talking about, they had his dad on there, Snoop Minnis. Of course, Snoop Minnis is going to be a famous cornerback in the SEC and did play some ball in time in the NFL. But with that being said, his dad Snoop was saying he's not really a tight end at all, as that he's really just a bigger wide receiver, but his body projects to be a tight end. Split out tight end, can absolutely burn people deep, very versatile, big bodied, as I did say, that can definitely fill it out. Probably going to play his college weight, right, almost touching 240 pounds if he does fill it out that frame, which I do believe that he will. But he is going to be from Pinnacle School in the Phoenix, Arizona, in the class of 2023. We're talking about where Deuce is subjected to go for right now. He has been crystal ball to, in fact, to the University of Southern Cal. The Trojans, led by Lincoln Riley out there, showing young Deuce what they could possibly do in their spread offense and what they run. Very similar to what they're going to be running on Oklahoma. But if we do get, in fact, Arch Manning into the fold, probably, hopefully sooner rather than later, come watch University of Texas put out an offer for Deuce Robertson. There has been some communication back and forth. There has been some communication back and forth between young Deuce and the University of Texas. Coach Jeff Banks, tight end coach Jeff Banks, but not yet an offer. But that will be surely 100% to rise if the University of Texas does get Arch Manning into the fold. But talking about the three main tight end targets for the University of Texas, without a doubt, Spencer Shannon, the more inline traditional tight end, 6'6", 240 pounds out there in California, going to be more of a blocker, a lethal and deadly blocker. That's probably going to get him put on the 40, going to be put on the playing field rather sooner rather than later, is the fact that he is a big, strong blocker and that he can get it done in the running game and close to the goal line as well. Already in the bag, Spencer Shannon, someone possibly very into the fold very soon. Talk about Will Randall from Isidore Newman, 6'3", 225, 30 pounds himself. Don't have his 247 Sports composite up right in front of me right now. And of course, Deuce Robertson, if they do in fact land Arch Manning. Chico Holt is someone I do believe is going to be on the back burner on the outside looking in. But do in fact, if we get our do land Arch Manning, we'll have 3 takes in the University of Texas's potential 23 class. Spencer Shannon, the traditional. We're going to have the more versatile, can play a little bit of the H-back role, tight end role, can split out, both block and make some good pass catches, and Will Randall. And the more highly coveted can go out there, split out wide, and beat anyone deep, body anybody up, and Deuce Robertson. With that being said, who else do you like in the tight end position for the University of Texas? I would love to know who you think we could possibly go back and double up on, because once we get young Arch Manning into the fold, everything will come into focus for the Texas Longhorns. That's it for me, everyone. I would appreciate if you would like this video, smash that like video. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. That's it for me. Keep your head in the swivel, your eyes on Texas. Hook 'em up. Just like to say, this is AK in the Eyes on Texas program. I like to bring you college content, high school football content as often as I can. If this does in fact interest you, please like and subscribe. Welcome.